Yeah, when we talk about sustainable design, I think over the last years we discussed a couple of themes which all belong together. And while the discussion started on energy and the idea of using less energy, developing new technologies, lately we focus mostly also on the question of with which materials do we build in the future our buildings. As we know that the resources we're running out of, so the resources we have in minerals and in metals are limited. We need to figure out how we can, on one hand side, take those materials we already put into our cities back in the construction sector, and on the other side focus more on biological materials. Are they renewable? So basically the question of, on one hand side, which are the materials we build with in the future, and the other side, how much CO2 and other greenhouse gas emissions are we emitting by doing so, are the two central questions of the future of the building industry. We are constantly learning, right? We are on a steep learning curve. So while we focused mostly on the energy question and therefore on the CO2 emission of buildings in the last 10, 20 years, it was mostly on the operation state of buildings. But as we're getting better in technology and minimizing the CO2 emission on the operation scale, we realize how important it is also to focus on the materials themselves. So how are they produced? And on the construction on site, so how much CO2 do we emit just by constructing the buildings? This percentage is getting more and more important, right? New buildings right now, we know only 1/3 of CO2 and greenhouse emissions are used in operation, while 2/3 are actually in materials and in the construction of the building. So therefore we have to constantly learn and refocus our discussion towards what is right now important to, in overall, limit the impact of building to our environment.